this video, I'm going to walk you through how to pull real-time company ticker data directly from the SEC into Power BI using just a few lines of M code. If you work with public company data, need up-to-date CIK numbers, or want to automate your connection to the SEC, this is a fast, clean solution. Central Index Key, the CIK, is used in the SEC's company system to identify corporations and individual people who had disclosed with the SEC. Source for using is a structured JSON file published by the SEC. You can view it, and the URL that I'll throw in the show notes below. This file contains thousands of public companies, each listed with its CIK, name, the ticker, and the exchange. Now, here's where we tap into the power of JSON. JSON, known as JavaScript Object Notation, is an efficient format that's perfect for sharing data online, and Power BI can read JSON files, but we need to transform the raw data into a structured table. Check out my JSON, the language of AI agents, to learn more about JSON. See link below in the video description to check out that video. Let's take a look at the key value pair of the JSON. We have the fields that will show our key, that's with the CIK, the name, the ticker, and the exchange, and then our values. This will be showing the data with the first line we'll use for this example is Microsoft. We can see the CIK number, we can see Microsoft, our stock ticker, and the exchange, which is the NASDAQ. Let's head over to Power BI. All right, so on the home button, we're going to click on Get Data. And then we're going to scroll down to Web. We're going to make a web connection. And we're going to connect to the SEC's URL. We're going to use from the web, we're going to use the basic. And then from our URL, we're just going to copy and paste, Control-C, Control-V. You guys can grab that from the show notes below, that URL, and then click OK. And this is going to take us to our query editor, where we're going to transform this JSON into a nice structured table. All right, so we can see our data is loaded. So the web connection, the function that Power Query use that's set up automatically for us is they utilize the function called JSON.documents. And then the innermost within this function is called web.contents, and then the URL that we pasted in. That is, we can call to that JSON from the SEC's website, so we'll get real-time data on publicly available companies that we can just refresh in the future as new companies are listed in final disclosures. Here we have our key value pair. We have the fields. If we want this open, we can see the list contains a CIK, a name, a ticker, and an exchange. And one thing I want to note is we're dealing here with a list. We have two lists, and this is where we can use a couple handy-dandy functions. Make our life simpler. Anytime you're working with JSON, these are going to be your best friends. Definitely check them out and utilize them anytime you're dealing with JSON. All right, so let's add a step to our query. So we've made our connection, and the next thing we're going to do is start with List.Transform. All right, so with this function, we're going to call to our source. With the SEC JSON file, it contains the data field that holds the list of lists. We're dealing with as we saw, and each list is a row of values, like the Microsoft example that had those values in it with the CIK number, Microsoft Corp, the stock ticker, and the exchange. And that's not usable as is. We'll use List.Transform to loop through each list and convert it to a structured record. And for each item in the list, Record.FromList maps the values to the field names, which is the CIK, the name, the ticker, and the exchange. And this gives us a list of records and one record per company. So let's type out this M code. So we're going to use brackets all to the data, type in comma, and then we're going to use, as we mentioned, we're going to loop through the records. Then we use record from a list. And then we're going to do open parentheses. We're going to do underscore or on a loop. And then we're going to do curly brackets to type in the CIK. We're going to be typing in the key from type in name. And the next one, we're typing in ticker. And lastly, we're going to use the exchange. All right, now we have that. We're just going to close off, make sure we got the complete broken in with the List.Transform and hit enter. And here we can see we now have a list of records. So with Microsoft, we have our key value pair. We have the CIK, we got the name, ticker, exchange. We got one more step to do. So we got our list of records. It's great. Now we want to make this into a table. How can we do that? So M-Code has a great feature called Table.FromRecords. We're just going to wrap that around the List.Transform. Open parentheses, and then close parentheses. With that, we have our structured table. So let's check it out. So we got our first column, the CIK number. We got the name. So with the first row is Microsoft. We got the ticker and the exchange. Now we have a nice structured data of the organisms of publicly traded companies that file disclosures with the SEC. And now that we got our structured table, we can now go back to the home ribbon, do a close and apply. Give it a moment. So we have about 10,000 records that got loaded. And from here, we can create a couple quick visualizations. So I always love starting with a slicer. Here, we're just going to put in a quick slicer and put in my name. Go to the Eclipse for more options, hit search. Then we're going to just put in a simple table. They add a table, and then we're going to add in the CIK number, company name, put the ticker, and the exchange. Hi, and now we can search. Let's put in Microsoft. And just like that, as we got usable data to work with our projects when working with publicly available companies, and it's real-time, connecting to real-time data from the SEC. How powerful is that? But if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more Power BI and automation tutorials. Leave a comment if there's a data source you would like me to explore, and if your firm is ready to move beyond spreadsheets and build intelligent, automated reporting systems, visit jmartin.consulting. Let's build something powerful together. I'm Jules. Thanks for watching.